Investigators are covering the economy now. Credit card court. A major bank is suing thousands of Rhode Islanders. So many, the courts are bringing staff in on weekends just to handle the high volume. Officials say it's another sign of the troubling economy, but the lawsuits could mean big money for the state. Target 12 investigator Tim White has the exclusive details.
State workers may be on overtime to handle the crush of lawsuits, primarily from credit giant Capital One, but in just 5 months, the suits have brought nearly $200 grand into state coffers.
Capital One Bank versus Joaquim Semedo. Capital One Bank versus Mary Clark.
It's a depressing chant.
Capital One Bank versus Marilyn Colon.
A court clerk listing off the names of those being sued by their credit card company. People being sued because they've had an outstanding balance for some time. Another sign of the economy swamping the Rhode Island courts with lawsuits.
It was very unusual. I don't recall a prior instance of that happening in my 22 years here.
In December, a Connecticut law firm gave the Rhode Island courts a heads up they'd be filing an estimated 11,000 lawsuits against delinquent credit card holders. Their primary client, Capital One. Magistrate Joseph Ippolito says they knew the massive paperwork could bring the courts to a slow grind. So you've set up a special credit card court.
In a sense, you could call it that, yes.
Clerks are being called in on Saturdays to handle the load. Consider this, on one day this month, 750 cases were filed on one day. Since January, it's meant about 10 grand in overtime, but the surge has brought nearly $175,000 in filing fees.
From a state coffer's point of view, it's been very beneficial to the state treasury.
The sad fact is most who are sued never show up in court, which means they automatically lose. Magistrate Ippolito says that's a mistake because they might be able to work it out with the credit card company. The courts have handled about 4,000 cases so far, meaning with 7,000 to go. The chant is sure to continue.
Capital One Bank versus Arthur Outland.
The attorney for Capital One declined to go on camera, but he tells me that credit card companies are taking these cases to court now because, like the rest of us, they're feeling the financial pressure too. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, Eyewitness News.
Well, not